Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're diving into a topic that's both simple and life-changing, the importance of saying no. For many of us, saying no feels like letting someone down, missing out on an opportunity, or creating conflict. But what if I told you that learning to say no isn't about shutting doors, it's about opening the right ones? It's about reclaiming your time, your energy, and your focus so you can prioritize on what really matters to you. In this episode, I'm sharing my own lessons that I've learned to the power of saying no, why it's critical for you to decide between what is important to you and what isn't. By the end of today's conversation, you'll walk away with 3 actionable takeaways that empower you to start saying no without guilt and start living a life on your terms. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's dive into the power of saying no. Ladies, let's jump straight into the idea of how you're able to cultivate your rich life. Now, I say your rich life because that's the key importance here that we need to remember. What I value in life will be deeply different to what you value. We may have some similarities, or we may even view things somewhat the same, which is fantastic. That's what draws us to each other. But when it comes down to our true definition of what success is, or what we want our life to be, or that deep knowing of what we're meant to have or do or be, isn't uniquely to us. And that's why I say it's important that we all cultivate our own rich life. So a rich life is not finances. Well, it's not just finances. It's more than one facet. It's more than just, I want to be wealthy. And the want to be wealthy is fantastic. Everybody loves money. We just pretend that we don't. But cultivating a rich life, as I said earlier on, comes down to 3, in my opinion, key components: health and wellness, our mindset, and our finances. I truly believe it is deeply important that us as women have our own stable finances. We have a stable mindset, and we have stable health and wellness. If we're making sure that we can have strong areas in all 3 of those things, that's what helps create the life with intention and that we want. So when we look at the idea of how we can approach each one of these, let's call them pillars, as to how we're able to get to where we want, let's start with what I believe is the key one: health and wellness. Have you ever noticed, or maybe you've not noticed this, but when you're wanting to start tackling life, the first thing that people usually address is their nutrition and their fitness. It's like this place that we go to try and gain control of first, whether that be through training or our food. I noticed as a fitness coach and then progressed into a life coach that the first place people want to turn to fix is their nutrition and their training. This is because it's the place that shows the level of what I deem to be is self-respect. If we can treat ourselves the way that we would treat a child or a friend, that shows the level of self-respect that we have for each other or have for ourselves. So the first component, what are you eating? How are you showing up for yourself in the gym? What are you intentionally doing to make sure that how you cultivate yourself in the health and wellness aspect is getting yourself to where you want to be? Maybe you're not happy with your body, and that's okay. Maybe you are. Awesome. Maybe you need to get better sleep. Maybe you need to take care of your vitamins or get more sun, or fill in the blank to what you need to do to cultivate in that area properly for you. Again, each pillar is deeply unique to us, but how we show up in it, I believe, is still exactly the same. It comes down to the level of self-respect and discipline that we have for ourselves in that area. When you're able to show up for yourself in a way for health and wellness, it's going to create this ripple effect. When you start eating better, you start feeling better. When you start moving your body more, you start wanting to move more. An object in motion stays in motion. So the more we actually exert the body, the more energy we actually have. And it's very contradictory in that sense. But the very basic pillar of what are we feeding ourselves, how are we showing up, and how are we sleeping is a key fundamental for us. as well as rest and so forth. The second one is mindset. Now, mindset can have like a couple of umbrellas under it as well. One of those I believe to be relationships. Now, relationships doesn't need to be romantic. It can be platonic as well. It can be your work relationships, your friendships, your relationships with your family. Maybe you don't have blood-related family, but you have a family that you created of your own. How do you show up in those relationships? Is it a two-way street or is it a one-way street? Are you the taker or are you the giver? Is it in equal balance or is it sometimes out of balance? And that's okay. We are coming from somebody who used to spend her time being a hyper-independent person that balances on the extreme of thinking that you don't need people. And while deeply not healthy, we are interdependent people. And that was something that I had to learn myself, and that relying on people or needing people is not a bad thing. So relationships in itself, I believe, help give us a better mindset. Now, mindset also comes down to us as the lens that we project into the world. Do we have a poor me, or everything is bad, nothing goes my way, I can't ever get what I want? Is that the mindset that I have? Or is my mindset, everything always works out for me, there are so many opportunities for me, and you're constantly open to the world? I've been in both. I've been the poor me victim. I've been nothing works out for me. And all it takes, and I say all, like it's like something that's easy to do, it's practice and it takes time. The habit that was formed to create the poor me victim is the same mindset flip that you need to have to create the everything works out for me, I get what I want. And when you change that perspective, you're able to look at the world in a different lens. It's this one of power, and I'm able to cultivate whatever I want. I can create whatever I want. And it's from this place of knowing that you control your life and you make the choices for your life. I believe Stephen Bartlett said this. It's, if you don't like your life, make better choices. And sometimes that can be a little bit like, oh, that was shitty, but maybe I needed to hear it. Having a healthy mindset comes down to what we consume, not just on our phones or on the TV, but also what are we listening to? Who are we listening to? Are you listening to somebody who has what you want, or are you listening to somebody who you would never trade our lives with in a minute? Mindset, we don't realize how important it is until we start to change it. When you start to have a more positive outlook on life, you're able to come from a place of power and inner confidence and inner worth and inner self-respect. The world changes. And it's hard to explain, but when you're able to reach that place, coming from a person who was in the negative cloud, and it's this loop that just keeps going, but the moment you step out of that loop, the smoke clears. And when the smoke clears, everything changes for you. In mindset, I always also put down personal growth. Now, personal growth is an individual journey that you have to decide when you want to go on. And it's usually the time when you're like, fuck this, I'm sick of living how I've been living. I'm tired of having this life. I'm tired of not getting what I want. I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of being overweight. I'm tired of this job. I'm tired of this house, whatever it is. I'm tired of. Insert. When you get to that place, things change. Things change if you change, though. We can't just be like, I'm tired and not do anything. That's the definition of insanity. You have to want to change. You have to want to do it. But when you can get to that place, I promise you everything changes. But it has to be you that gets yourself there. So personal development is a rabbit hole that you can go down for years. If you get stuck, and coming from a person who did this as well, you can get stuck in the whys, but do not get stuck there. Ask the why and then say, how do I change this? Why did this happen? Okay, I found the pattern. Now how do I change this? If you get stuck in the past, it'll eat you alive. You always want to keep moving forward. So use personal development as a tool to get better, acquire skills, to make more money, to have the life that you want for your rich life. The next one is finances. Now, finances to me, personally, I equate to having a number of different things under it. Now, with under finance comes freedom. Now, with freedom comes responsibility. Having greater financial reward usually comes from a sense of purpose. Now, a purpose doesn't mean that you have to go out and create a business. It could be that you have great purpose in your job, and that's fantastic. If you want to have a larger impact, maybe it means creating your own business. Maybe it means working 2 jobs. Your purpose is unique to you. You just have to decide what it is. It doesn't have to be what your brothers, sisters, cousins, auntie has. It's unique to you, and that's okay. Find the things that you enjoy. Find the things that you've been through that you could teach to other people. Find the thing that makes you excited, that brings you joy, that you have innate, deep passion for. And when you find those things and you're able to work it into your life, whatever it doesn't have to be the thing that makes you money, but I truly believe that passion and purpose can make you money if you choose it to. So within your finances comes a multitude of things. It's not just about the money that you make, it's about how you handle your money. Are you I'm a live in the moment person and not worry about later on? Or are you, I'm going to plan for the future? I was very much I'm a live in the moment person for most of my 20s. It wasn't until my divorce that I was like, oh, okay, like you better not be this person anymore. Like you need a reality check real quick. And it's not, I can no longer be here. It's, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be the person who doesn't plan for the future. I don't want to be the person who just lives in the moment. I had reached I'm tired of living like this. And that's when I realized change was coming. Because I decided I had enough and I wanted better for me. I had developed self-respect. I had developed self-worth and innate confidence in myself to know that what I was giving myself, because I was giving this to myself, was not enough anymore. It was not good enough anymore. So within the finances becomes, what are you making? Are you making enough that supports your lifestyle? Now, I say support your lifestyle because it's your job. Like we as women, it is our job to support the lifestyle that we want. And that may ruffle feathers in some way capacity. While we like the idea of having a man come and take care of us in some aspect, and maybe one day will, but for right now, your job is to make sure you support the lifestyle that you want. So if you want $10,000 handbags and driving Ferraris and whatever else, then okay, support it. It's not fair, at least this is my stance, to ask somebody else to provide what you're not willing to provide for yourself. So if we're looking at those 3 components, health and wellness, mindset, and finances, you need to ask yourself where and how are you showing up or falling short of the life that you want. If you ask yourself, what is it in 1 year's time that I want, does it suit that? If it doesn't, you need to reflect on how you can change what you need to change or how you need to show up better. If your 5-year goal is not reflecting your rich life, then you also need to ask yourself, how can I change? Also within finances, I place freedom, which is responsibility. The ultimate freedom is ultimate responsibility. The more responsibility you're willing to take on, the more freedom you get to have. And I think that I personally believe that that's always overlooked, because the idea of, well, I just want to have all the freedom and never work, that doesn't give you the freedom that you think it does, because you're taking no responsibility for your life. You're not taking the responsibility that is needed to give yourself the life that you want, because nobody's going to give it to you. You have to do it. So if you're willing to take all the responsibility and accountability too, responsibility and accountability, then you're going to have the life that you want with work. Now, freedom also to me doesn't just mean the responsibility aspect. It's also the freedom to choose what I want, when I want, and how I want, where I want. So it's freedom of location, freedom of choice, freedom of my time is the biggest. You can add more pillars into this as well, but they're my 3 that I always cover with my clients to find out where they want to be in life. If they're stuck and they're not sure where, how much they want to make. Maybe sometimes not everybody wants to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, because you have to understand what comes with that trade-off. And if you're okay with the trade-off, then that's okay. Go for it. Do it. Full faith that you can do it. Some people aren't okay with the trade-off. That trade-off might mean time away from family, not being able to travel, not being able to have the desires that they want in other areas. And that's okay. That's why it's your rich life. You get to cultivate it. You get to decide what comes and what goes, what stays and what doesn't. And when you honor the things that you want, that's how the life is created for you. You don't allow somebody else to tell you how it should be or could be or should look. It's for you and how you want to look back on your life when you're 84, telling grandchildren or kids about the life that you lived. When you're able to look at it through that lens, or the concept that if I have X, Y, and Z, the trade-off would be A, B, and C. And if you're okay with it, go for it. Like, don't let somebody else tell you that it's wrong. Don't let somebody else tell you that it's not the thing. Don't let somebody else tell you that you're not looking at life right, because it's for you and how you want to show up. If you look back at it or as you're writing this out and you're expanding how you want it to look, and the thought process brings you excitement and joy or fulfillment, you've done the right thing. Like, you've created the thing that you want. If you're looking at it and you're like, this does nothing for me, like, maybe go back and re-advise it, re-look at it, and decide what needs to change or come in or go. Look back at your life. Maybe you're 20 years old and you're like, I've not liked what I've done in the past 3 years since I've left school. I want the next 10 years to be different. Then make it different. If you're 30, 32 like me, and you're like, what I did for the past 10 years, I don't want to do anymore. Great. Pivot, change something, do something. Create it so it looks good for you. The last piece of advice that I'll offer is, when you're sitting there on this blank piece of paper and you're like, I don't know what I want. Like, maybe you're in a period of transition. Maybe at a place, maybe you broke up with somebody and you have a new canvas. Maybe the chapter that you're in is just closed and the new one is beginning. We're in 2025, the very beginning. So a lot of chapters are beginning for people. Start with 2 things, your beliefs and your values. I truly believe that those 2 things guide everywhere. If you can build a life that aligns with your values and your beliefs, you're on the right path. Just remember that when you are doing this and you are planning and you're being intentional about things, remember that it's for you. It's not for anybody else. It's how you want to look back at 85 and be like, the life that I lived was the life that I wanted. I gave myself so much permission to show up exactly how I wanted, to have the things that I wanted, to cultivate the life that in my core was so true to me that there is nothing that I felt like I missed out on. There is nothing that I feel like I could have had or should have done more of or could have done better, because you lived so intentionally just simply by creating your rich life. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode, and hopefully you took something of value away from this. If you didn't, please drop a message. I'd love to talk to you more. If you did, please leave a comment or a review, and I would love to hear any feedback that you have. But until next time, I will see you in the next episode.